Hello and welcome to the Satsuma Designs workshop. In this video, I'd like to share with you what I keep in my sewing tool belt. When I arrive at the workshop every day, I hang up my coat and I put on my tool belt. I love having all of my tools at hand. It makes my work so efficient and easy, and I always know where my tools are when I need them. Let's get started. I like to put a few sewing clips on my tool belt so I have them at hand. I use these in place of straight pins, which I will find at my industrial sewing machine, but clips are a great way to attach patterns to fabric or bundle a couple pieces of fabric as needed. Next, in my tool belt, I include a small pair of snips. Now, you won't see a cover on the snips, which there should be, and those go right on the side of my tool belt, so that if I sit down, there's no danger of them poking me. Next, I have my tape measure. I like to have a 60-inch tape measure in my tool belt. This allows me to very accurately measure whatever width of fabric might be at hand. In our workshop here, that's going to be the widest fabric. Next, I have a seam ripper that has a cover on it. You will find the seam rippers all over the workshop, but I like to have one tucked right into my tool belt so I have it at hand, because we all know that unsewing is a real thing. Next, I have a bodkin, which in our production here at the workshop is for enclosing drawstrings through waistbands, and some of our hair accessories require a bodkin, so I like having this great tool on hand. Next are some of my marking implements. I have two colors of tailor's chalk, one in blue for light fabrics and one in white for darker fabrics. It's wonderful to have both colors on hand, so it doesn't matter what color fabric I'm working with. Alternatively, I may have a chalk pencil, which is handy and very easy to write with in this format. Next, I'd like to have a little bit of masking tape and a Sharpie pen in case I'm interested in marking my fabric face or right side up, or making a note to myself. Perhaps I'm working on a sample and I want to make sure that everybody who comes along that garment will know that it's a sample versus production. And finally, in my tool belt, I always have a little pair of earplugs. Safety is very important at the workshop. We always wear ear protection and eye protection when sewing with our industrial machines. We use these small little earplugs, and we have larger ear noise canceling earphones at each industrial sewing machine. And a few items that you won't find in the tool belt but are going to be at each industrial machine that are handy include a pair of tweezers. These are fundamental for threading needles on your industrial machines. They work wonders and they save the eyes. Next is a small gauge, which helps when measuring seam allowances to make sure that everything is within the pattern tolerances. So if you have a 3/8 inch seam allowance on up down to a 1/4, you'll be able to very easily identify what the seam allowance is. And let me show you on this gauge, there's a small hole where the needle would go through if you were putting it under the needle, which you won't. You'll just put it next to it. And then you slide this blue gauge, I should say indicator, along the gauge. So this is a really super functional tool. Next, I have an awl, spelled AWL. This is just a pointy tool that lets us puncture through our pattern indicators, our small drill holes indicated by a circle on the pattern. These are handy, and these you will find at your workstation as well. And finally, a really nice pair of fabric shears that are only used for fabric, no paper or other materials through these blades. But we use Kai shears, and they are top of the line, and we like to keep them sharp. So those are some of the tools that you will find here at the Satsuma workshop to make our work fun, easy, and efficient. Please reach out with any questions, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.